So today is the first day that we start to turn all of this into this. It's a daunting task getting this all cleared. I'm getting it done one tree at a time. If I can get this down and ready to go by next month, then we have the machinery to come in and then help me to clean this up. So that's the plan. That's what we're working on today. Let's get her done. Okay, so this used to look like this. And over the last week, I've been mowing these down because we've got a lot of big plans for it. I shared about that in the last video, but we've got even bigger plans. I can't stop here. I got to keep going because there's more work to do. So if you look to the end here, this actually is the end of the garden, and we need to be able to do a road, a 12-foot road going on the other side with about 10 feet between the end of the garden and the road itself. And it's going to go all the way around the chicken coop and wrap back around into the woods here, where we have plans to do a future shed. But in the meantime, today, my task is to get into here. I got to get busy with my brush cutter and get that cleared so that when I have the guys with the equipment coming, they know exactly where they need to go. As well as with the road, I got to mark all that out so I know exactly where I've got to go and how much I've got to do in there. So that's my big task today. So I just finished going through all the brush here with the brush cutter, trying to open it up a little bit better so that I can come through with the chainsaw after. This is over by the chicken coop. This brush was so thick that you could not walk through it, and even right now it is a challenge to even walk through. So I'm going to take you through it just so you guys can see what I see, what I'm going through, what I'm having to trip over and step over. I got the measuring tape up here. So that is about 24 feet from close to the chicken coop fence over there. 24 feet across. So what we want here is 12 feet for the road. And I want probably at least around 10 feet from the chicken coop, just so we can have some space there. And we're still a good ways away from the orchard. I don't know if you can see it over there. The cardboard there is actually a apple tree. But I've gone through here with just the brush cutter. I have not touched this yet with the chainsaw. Just come through with the brush cutter. And I'm really impressed actually with how the brush cutter is going through some of the small trees. You can see here that it is possible to go through some of the smaller trees like that, but I could have gotten a couple of those down, but I figured it's probably just as easy to go through with the chainsaw. It's the smaller stuff that I'm after with the brush cutter. But coming back here, there is an old tree that I downed this birch here back when I was building the chicken coop back in the spring. And so I had to kind of work around that. I'll have to buck that up to get through it. But as you can see, there are some giant rocks here. Like, it's hard to really fathom how big that is. But yeah, there's my foot. And that's just the top of the boulder. So hopefully the excavator can get through that, move that. I'm gonna have him make a pile of the rocks that he's moving, because I would love to use those rocks along the pond or end of the driveway kind of thing. That would be pretty cool. And when we come out to this area, it actually opens up quite a bit. I mean, there is some brush. It's not too bad though. A lot of it is small, easy to cut through. But I came through here and did what I could with the brush cutter. I had to be really careful I didn't hit these rocks. Like, it's another one that just comes out of the ground there. And when you're dealing with the brush, sometimes it's really hard to see those rocks. I'll show you another pile over here. There's another big one there. And then there's like a pile of these rocks all through this area. They're all covered in moss. Some really big rocks out here. There's another massive just pile of rocks. So you can tell at some point this property was farmed way back in the day, but it's probably been close to 100 years since anybody's been out here doing anything. But it does open up a little bit here. Gives me hope. There are some areas that I found with some grasses coming up. And so when you give those grasses some air and some sunlight, I really think they're going to take off. Because we want, actually, right where I'm standing, right in this area actually, is where we plan on having a greenhouse. Not one, but 2 greenhouses and a bit of a market garden. And these trees, they're not too big. So it won't be too hard to get them out of the way. But yeah, we want to have our greenhouse here and a market garden in this area, including at some point somewhere over here like a big pumpkin patch. That would be awesome. So yeah, as I was saying, you could not walk through here before. It was thick. But now I can move around in here quite freely. Just past this tree here is actually where the garden starts. This is the back corner of the garden. I know you can't really tell because all of the saplings have come back, but we're going to be mowing all those down. Excavator is going to come and probably even pull out the stumps for us, and we'll be able to build the garden beds, and this will look completely different, I'm hoping, by late fall. So we have all the garden beds built and ready for the spring. It'd be nice to have the soil to be established as well before we end up starting in the spring. Give it a winter to establish itself. That's pretty much right back to the beginning where I started. Now I gotta go back through it all and start taking the trees down with the chainsaw. Did a lot of that last week. I was very thankful for Saturday being a rest day, but we're on a time crunch. I gotta get this stuff done. The sooner I can get my guy with the excavator in here and he can start building these roads for us. All right, well, that's a wrap for that tank of fuel. Got all the way around the chicken coop, about 22 feet's worth or more. Gonna have to deal with that one. Couldn't be avoided. But I just got to get to the end of the garden here and out to where I've cleared before. And this whole area has been done. All right, so I got another big project going on here. Forest you see behind me is where we used to have Wallace and Willow and Mabel. Now, a couple months ago, we experienced a tragedy. When we had fenced off this forest for a corral, for 3 cows, it was, there was a lot going on inside of there. There was snow, there was a lot of brush that had been pushed down by the snow that carpeted the ground. You really couldn't see much of the ground. And when we bought this property originally, it was covered in garbage and junk everywhere. One of the contractors said that people must have been using this property as a dumping ground. Now, it's crude, but apparently that's not uncommon around here. However, we had the property completely scrubbed where we have the house, but we did not scrub that area, obviously, because it's treed. And when we were cleaning up, there wasn't any junk out there that we could see. We put the 3 animals in there, and they were doing great. They were doing really good until the vegetation started growing back in. We don't know that this was actually the reason, but we lost Willow suddenly overnight. We still don't know why. We're still pretty heartbroken about it. One of the reasons kind of still sticks in the back of my mind is that as the cows started to graze the vegetation and with their hooves break up the ground, etc., I was finding tons of garbage, tons of rubble in that section of the property. You walk through it and it didn't take you very long to find something there. Whether it be broken glass, metal, house siding, whatever. I couldn't in good conscience keep them in there anymore. So we sent Mabel back over to the neighbors, where she has been happy and healthy, and they love having her over there. And I moved Wallace over to the other side of the house here to help me clear another area, so he'll be safe in that area. Gets well fed, he's happy, gets his apples every day. But the question is, what do I do with this now? So what we've decided is, we really like this section for being an area that can have a corral and a barn and easy access to go from here down the western side of the property where we plan on having the road to the other pasture sites out there. So in order to get this safe, where I'd feel comfortable putting animals back in there, we've got to scrub the ground. We've got to get some machinery in there that can dig down, as the garbage it's half buried in the ground. It's impossible to find it all. In order to do that, we've got to remove all the trees so that the machinery can get in there. That's my next task, is to clear this area. This is going to be the biggest chunk of work that I need to do between now and then. And I'm going to show you some of the garbage that you can easily find in here. You've got cloth that's literally coming out of the ground. Animals can eat and get sick off of. Look at this, it took me no time at all. Found some more glass, some metal cans, some plastic that's all half buried. A metal piece of something, I don't know what it is, but it's buried in there. There's another piece of glass and some cans. And again, all this stuff, you could not find it before we put the animals in here. We had no idea. Yeah, so it doesn't take too long to find that stuff. Like I've spent hours every day just walking through and grabbing stuff and pulling it out, and it's just too much. So that's my task today. Time to get to work. So we are just moments away from having the big equipment coming, big machines coming, to give this property a facelift. You might remember this is where we used to have the cows penned up. I've taken all the fence out. I've dropped multiple trees out of there, most of the trees out of that space, leaving a couple of batches of maple trees there so that there is going to be some shade, some protection in there. Most of it's going to be open. Hoping to put in a 25 by 25 barn, so we're going to make a pad for that. The machines are going to take all of this brush and push it over the hill over here, and right here is where the start of the driveway is going to be. So we're going to have a driveway that comes in, around, down through here. There's almost a natural slope and a flat where you can drive the vehicle once it's cleared. I've cleared the trees back far enough. He's going to cut a little bit into the edge here just to make it a bit more open. And push all the trees out from here, all through here. Going to clear all of these. Some of these I couldn't quite get to safely to cut them down, so once he's cleared them, I'll take them down. All of the trees all the way along here. So there's going to be a road that comes down, goes straight into the back there. Not sure if you can see it, but there's an opening there, probably about a 20-foot opening. We're going to put a 12-foot road along the property line on the west border. And all through here I've cleared all these trees. This one's a little bit too much of a slope. Gonna wait for the machinery to be able to cut that down safely. All of these trees, this is going to be sloped out a little bit more, so there's actually, you know, a grade to it and it's not so steep. Then we can walk on it. And there's going to be a road that comes along this way and goes all the way past the garden and around the chicken coop and then over into where Wallace is right now, where we're planning on putting in a shop. I was hoping to get Wallace's pen done so that he had all that area to access, but might have to wait a couple days. Hey geese, goose goose. Anyway, and then with the road going that way and one going that way, we're gonna have a pond in here, and the water is definitely shown that it likes to hold in this area. Like, we just got a pour of rain 2 days ago, and for the first time in months that I can remember, it rained all day, and it was a good amount of rain. So now there's already like 3-4 inches of water that are just sitting there. So that's the plan with that. Now we're just waiting for the machinery to show up. So I just got rid of our fire pit, stacked all the cinder blocks into a wagon, moved them over onto the other side of the house. Because what's going to end up happening is right about there, we're going to have a road going in a semicircle coming out right through the driveway and right out through here, so that people can drive in there, stop at the farm stands on the way, and then come right back out onto the driveway and back out onto the road. And then there's going to be another road that goes over this way, so we can access the future barn and the corral area. So in this corral area is where I'm going to have stanchions and that sort of stuff for when I need to attend to Wallace and future animals, as well as give them a little bit of a shelter. Though Wallace probably won't use it, and when I get into sheep don't really care for a barn too much from what I understand, but I'll still have it there anyway. We've got several big trees that are snagged up in here all through, because I wanted to keep this maple group. And there's another group of maple over there that I wanted to keep. And it caused some snags, but with an excavator, that shouldn't be too hard to clean up. So we're just waiting for it to come, and then this place is going to look a lot different. Alright, just dropping off the equipment, come back with the dozer, and after lunch, gonna get going. We're gonna start getting busy. So it begins.
Thanks for watching as we've been slowly turning this property into a working farm from scratch. You won't want to miss these next few episodes as we completely transform this land.